Proponuje zmienić temat. Prezydent Francji Emmanuel Macron sugerował ostatnio, że może w niedalekiej przyszłości wysłać wojska na Ukrainę. Zachęca do tego inne państwa, buduje koalicję. Pamiętamy postawę Francji z początku inwazji Rosji na Ukrainę, kiedy to Macron prowadził zachowawczą politykę. Teraz, jak mówią analitycy, z gołębia stał się jastrzębiem. Jak pan ocenia jego propozycję wysłania francuskich wojsk na Ukrainę?
To a hawk. What do you think about this proposal, sending of French troops to Ukraine?
It seems to me that this is quite a declaration irresponsible on part of the Emmanuel Macron. It can even intensify if military conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
Konfliktu militarnego między Rosją i Ukrainą. My, Francuzi,
We, the French patriots and Europeans like Poles, we stand in solidarity with Ukrainians without any reservations. Russian intervention in Ukraine means that we must support Ukraine.
powoduje, że musimy wspierać Ukrainę. Ja również głosowałem.
I also voted, like colleagues from the Law and Justice, for loans to support Ukraine, its reconstruction and its currently defense.
A w tej chwili jeszcze obronę. Nie możemy.
We can't deliver to make this conflict escalated into world conflict.
Konflikt światowy. W tej chwili musimy.
Right now we have to defend Ukraine and international law, but that doesn't mean that we must weaken ourselves.
Osłabić.
We have seen, for example, the opening of markets, of European markets to the Ukrainian congregation, in which does not meet our standards. It had a negative impact on politics, agriculture of neighboring countries, for example, Poland. Some talk about future affiliation Ukraine to the European Union. Ukraine is agricultural giant, does not meet the requirements at the moment, no norms, neither agricultural nor democratic. So that's a separate chapter in these novels. But for now, we have to support Ukrainians in order to survive. They could defend and then rebuild. Next case, they have been going on in Poland for many weeks, farmers' protest. Polish farmers oppose the flood of agricultural protests from Ukraine and the Green Policy Order, which is pushed by the European Union.
Która jest forsowana przez Unię Europejską. We Francji także.
In France too, farmers protest. Do you support them? Are you a supporter of the protests of European farmers?
What do you think about protest of European farmers? Do you agree with them?
Of course, and we support it through the extent of angry French farmers. I know such numbers about Poland, but in France, every other day one farmer commits suicide.
Liczb na temat Polski, ale we Francji co drugi dzień jeden rolnik popełnia samobójstwo. Dlaczego? Dlatego,
Why? Because exactly French farmers suffer because the Green Deal, and at the same time they are not protected from competition.
Chronieni przed konkurencją. Oczywiście my jesteśmy.
Of course we are in favor of competition, but it has to be competitive, be fair, it must be balanced. It cannot expose our farmers to competition that does not respect social, sanitary and environmental standards.
Nie respektuje norm socjalnych, sanitarnych i środowiskowych. A więc jest na pewno różnica.
So there is definitely a difference between Poland and France, because production costs are high in Poland, lower than in France. So Poles are different. They sometimes look favorably on this free trade.
Wolny handel. Ja to rozumiem.
I understand that, but at the moment what is prepared within Mercosur, it is terrible and huge risk also for the agricultural market in Poland.
Jest wielkim ryzykiem dla również rynku rolnego w Polsce. W tej chwili na razie mamy.
Right now we are having problems with import of grain or poultry from Ukraine. But in the future we may be flooded by food that does not meet our standards and it's much cheaper. And if that happens, then we won't be able to be competitive. And then our farmers will die.
Zginą. W Europie musi być.
There must be space in Europe, economic freedom. And for now, it is in favor a lot of everything. Taxes and standards. And at the same time, it must be protected. Because if not, then it is over. A large part of ours is lost. Industry, agriculture and our farmers.
chcemy... Oczywiście musimy
We want, of course,
pozwolić na
to allow
przepływ
food to flow at the international
na
level,
szczeblu międzynarodowym,
but there should
ale
be
powinno dochodzić
import
do importu
only when we
tylko
are
wtedy,
unable to do
kiedy sami
so
nie jesteśmy
ourselves.
w stanie wyprodukować
Produce a product or we produce too little of it.
Produkujemy go za mało. Natomiast
However, mass importing of products that we produce
produktów,
ourselves,
które sami
we are
jesteśmy
able
w
to
stanie
produce, not only kills our
produkować, nie tylko zabija
agriculture,
nasze
but it
rolnictwo, ale
also
również
is
antyekologiczne,
anti-ecological,
ponieważ
because the
tego
cost of
transportu
transporting
tej
this food
żywności
is
jest
huge
ogromny i
and counterlogical.
Ja bym chciała, żeby
I would like
Europa
Europe to be
była
strong.
silna,
She could take care of her business, so she could set an example, let it shine from the light, and that is not the case at the moment.
żeby biło od niej światło, a w tej chwili tak nie jest. My jesteśmy
We
związani
are connected with Europe and our identity, but we would like to change institutions
zmienić
and directions they have chosen in order to do so, that the European market is better protected.
lepiej chroniony rynek europejski.
One last point, the leader of Mr. Reconnaissance Party, Eric Zemmour, says France is sick man of Europe. What are the biggest pains, the biggest problems of France? Eric Zemmour told the truth, because that France is a country, today European country, most affected, what he calls the Great Replacement.
Tym, czym on nazywa wielkim zastąpieniem. To znaczy problemem
That is the problem of mass immigration. 500,000 of foreigners arrive every year to France from the Maghreb countries in areas such as south of Sahara.
obszarów na południe od Sahary. Dotyka nas islam.
We are affected by Islamization, including Islam radical. We have an example of many attacks, Islamist ones, where France was flowing with blood. On top of that, the demographics are too low. Immigration, Islamization, and small natural increase is for us a mortal risk, so Europe will not be Europe.
Dla nas śmiertelnym ryzykiem, więc Europa nie będzie Europą.
Eric Zemmour pressed the emergency button, saying that France is a sick country in Europe and in the European Union, and would like for France to regain its agency.
Francja odzyskała swoją sprawczość, żeby była znowu
To be a country that takes initiatives against. France could develop and be example in Europe. However, Donald Tusk, Macron and Ursula von der Leyen, they would like to see more immigrants sent to Europe.
Puszczać imigrantów do Europy, ale nie tylko do Francji.
But not only to France, only to separate them later in all of them countries. But this is not our interest, neither France nor Poland. So that very large numbers of Arab Muslims who do not have come to us are the same religion, history and culture, so they have nothing to do in Europe. We have to finish now. Thank you very much for this interview. Our guest was Mr. Nicolas Bay, French politician.
A Państwu bardzo dziękuję za uwagę i oczywiście tradycyjnie zachęcam do pozostania z Telewizją Republika. Dobrego weekendu, dobrej nocy.